Welcome back to the podcast, guys. It's been exactly 1 week. This podcast comes out every week on the dot.
Sunday or Saturday, whenever I upload it.
Yeah. Whenever we want, every time we want is exactly every time you need it. Content.
We had like a couple day long hiatus, just like 2 extra days longer than usual, but it wasn't really that long at all. Definitely not like a whole month. So
what can you say? You get the price you pay for it. When our Patreon goes up, which it definitely will, absolutely within the next units of time. Then you'll get your secret little podcast, and it'll get up on a schedule or whatever.
But, they absolutely will not.
Yeah.
No, I don't care if I'm getting paid. I'm still not. I'm still not following the schedule.
But let's end the cold open now. Let's go to the introduction. Philip, what do you think of today's current political climate? Any thoughts?
It's okay.
So when you say it's okay, what do you think of how morality in the political sphere, the social sphere, sort of like what kind of moment are we going through? There seems to be a lot of uproar. What do you think about that?
It's not good.
Okay. Do you think women have civil rights?
Yep.
Do you think men have civil rights?
A little bit.
Do you think corporations have rights?
Nope.
Well, do you think? No, you know what? I'm done with this bit. Go on with enter the music.
Yeah.
Play the music now.
Okay.
Do. And we're back.
There's
with
no
big boys,
there's
big
no
ideas.
music.
We always put in music. I don't know if you remember. Okay. We always put in music at the beginning.
I'll edit the music in. Yeah.
Okay. There you go. That was good.
Okay.
I thank you, Philip, for eating oatmeal right when we were recording.
Listen, man.
So you can sort of clink your spoon against the side.
It's fine. Like I said before, okay. If I'm not eating something, there has to be. It gives an ambiance. To the, to the pod. Like.
But is it a good ambiance?
Yes, it's a good ambiance. That way, when someone's waking up in the morning, they're eating their oatmeal too. They're like, I'm eating oatmeal. It's like a mukbang. Or mukbang or
I think it's mukbang. I think it's mukbang. Yeah.
Mukbang.
I don't do that.
I don't know how to do. Anyway, yeah, it's like one of those.
But just audio, which I think is the worst part of it, or maybe the part that they like the most. Is that we don't want to shame people.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Well, the audio is good because that way they can focus on eating their meal. If it was a video, they'd be watching the video and they might accidentally put the oatmeal in their eye or something. Miss their mouth, But if it's just audio, they can focus on doing what they're doing while listening to us.
No, that brings up a good point. Let's get into the phenomenology of mukbangs. Do you think? First question. Do you think it's the why? Let's go with why. Let's just have a general sort of
why they exist.
Not. I think it's clear why they exist. It's 70% sexual, 30%.
I was just
jealousy. Or something.
I don't know if it's all sexual. For some people, it's probably sexual, but
it's the same way that why can I not think of it? ASMRS. What is it?
ASMR
is it's clearly not sexual, right? But it's also clearly
some of those channels. Some of those channels are clearly milking the sexual part.
Right,
so,
right. The point is that it's not sexual in the exact same way.
Yeah. Well, I just think I think part of the mukbang phenomenon is that, people are, really lonely today, and they just want to eat food with someone. And they can't, and there's no dating app for that yet.
Gotcha.
They just do it online.
They just do it on
video.
There's a large amount of social media that I know is filled with that. That's interesting. I was thinking more of it's this experience. I want to see this person consume a large amount because it's a large amount, right? Is the whole point.
Yeah.
So I thought it was I want them to see it, consume it, even whether it's something about the food or the culture of the celebrity worship of the person.
It's like me
I didn't think it was
when I look at those pictures of nice food. I'm like, oh, that looks really good, and then I don't eat it and don't order it, but I just look at it and pretend I ate it.
Right, I don't understand that. But
it's like that. You look, oh man, look at them. Wow, that person ate 45 wings. Holy crap! Wow. Yeah. Okay, and then I'm not going to do that, but
Right.
Yeah.
So I suppose it makes sense from a companionship point of view, even though it's super still you would think there'd be better companionship. I mean, everybody loves podcasts and the two guys talking, all sorts of stuff, Red Letter Media. But
I'm gonna make a prediction right now. The number one commodity of the future. I don't know when the future time wise is, but just of the future is gonna be the commodification of companionship. Yeah, especially for companionship for everyone, but especially for young men. Yeah.
Well, here we've gotten into it. Our first big idea of the day with the big boys. What do you not think we've already reached that point? Because when I think of that, I think of like we've already talked about like better help, you know, and parasocial relationships. Like this has been a theme, you know, the everything. I almost guarantee that this is going to explain a lot of why romantic relationships have become such a core part of our culture. It's because people are looking for companionship, very intimate companionship, and they're unable to get that sort of fellowship with peers, with common people.
Yes.
And so they're putting as much as they can into their one big romantic relationship.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's also partly like the notion of like what it means to be a man and like what it means to be a woman, like role wise, like the roles those play in modern society, and the idea of like what it means to like have like a relationship with someone is going to be changing soon.
Okay. Well, because you've been studying a lot about, you were saying about gender politics and gender identity.
Yeah. Well, so I think that I mean that's not really related. I'm just thinking that like I don't know, you know, I think when I was growing up, it was like, you know, being a man is like you gotta ask girls out. You got to you know, exude all these like, or not exude, but like you gotta perform all these male things of like lifting up heavy things and taking your shirt off and
sort of stereotypically masculine traits,
tanning while reading a book or something. I mean, I guess
that's a little personal to you, but
unisexual thing. But I mean, when I do it, I am exuding.
It's very not unisex.
I am exuding a lot.
It
of
is extremely masculine. Personally, I get afraid.
I'm in my Speedo, reading my
Speedo?
book.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Well, I gotta get a full tan. I'm not gonna like.
No, that makes. I'm not that
full
brave,
tan, baby.
So congratulations.
Well, brave is not part of it. It's all utility, baby.
I think in your sort of complex.
I'm
building,
very pragmatic
doing
about
that.
this.
Speedo is very proud.
Very pragmatic about this. It's all about the tan. I don't care about anybody else. I don't know these people. I'm not trying to impress them. Really, I'm not trying to impress anyone, which I think is also part of the problem. People just like. No, I'm kidding. I don't think that's part of the problem.
There's a lot of meandering going on.
I think here's what I was trying to say earlier.
Oh, okay. Let's get to it now.
I'm trying to yeah. So I think that like, it's a lot easier nowadays to be like really lonely and to like isolate yourself, kind of like even though you might have a job and you go out and do the job and you like you interact with people like physically, right, or like in real life.
Sure.
When you like you don't have to do that as much anymore, and you can disassociate from that a lot more now, and so you can just come home and in the comfort of your own home in your PJs, eat food with someone, you know, online, and not have to like actually do that with someone. And it's not as complicated, and it's easier. And even though it's not quote unquote real, it's like the ease and the convenience of that. Overrides the I think in some cases the need for it to be real.
Gotcha.
And then at the same time that further leads to problems of like you still want the real thing, but now you're like stuck in this like cycle of not getting it. And
no, that makes sense to me as a reason why people would pursue watching something like that. That's what drives them. My question is that to me anyways, it doesn't seem like that good of an incentive, that's common of one, because personally one of the best parts of eating alone is to not have to be with other people. There are times when having conversation with people over meals is very important and very healthy and good and in community to do that, but there are so many times where I'd rather just eat by myself. You know, it doesn't have to be a sad sandwich man on a bench, but I just enjoy some, you know, alone time during that lunch or dinner sometime is helpful, you know?
Yeah,
anyway, I don't know how common that is.
Sandwich. I had my first hoagie yesterday.
Sick, dude.
It was pretty good. I just thought I mentioned that. Anyway.
This has been your hoagie news alert.
Yeah, I had my first hoagie. I thought it was good. I don't know. It was really big. It was really long, too. It was full of meat. It was great.
Dude, that's good. No, I know that's
I know it sounds like, I know that's like a lot of sexual innuendo there, but I wasn't trying to make it that. All. Just like mukbangs are not sexual in the slightest.
Except when it's an insane amount of food.
The hoagie is not. Well, you don't know that. People have different appetites.
No, I think it's a quality of a mukbang, defining a necessary quality that it has to be a large amount of food. Yeah, not just a small meal. I think I could be completely wrong. Viewer, dear listener, Google if you have no idea about mukbangs, then you maybe should just turn off or like do something else. But we have not defined it for you in any way. So just Google's your friend there.
I don't know.
I mean specifically not Google, but use something else.
Why not Google? What's wrong with Google?
What do you as like your default search engine? It's not 2004 anymore. We have to be worried about our privacy. We know all about the Patriot Act and all sorts of stuff.
I don't give a shit about my privacy.
Are you kidding me?
What the fuck is my privacy?
First of all, don't swear. This is a family podcast.
I don't need my privacy. What is my privacy? Yeah, this is my good. Yeah, don't swear on my Indonesian mandolin playing podcast.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have we not talked about privacy rights and anything before? This has been very important to me for
like
a long time.
No, but this is a really great segment this is great. You should talk about that.
This is a good segment that we didn't plan for, but has occurred very naturally, with ease, you might say.
Yes.
That's it. It's just been important. I mean, I've written essays about this thing. I could go into a lot of detail.
We don't need to.
Yeah,
really quickly. How's the tea?
Tea's very good.
There you go.
Very good.
There you go, folks.
It's Bbbi, right?
Yep.
Either Russian or British. We're not sure, but
it's Russian.
Russians love it. Okay.
Bbbi. Well, Bbbi specifically is like it's like a Slavic berry.
Ah, okay.
So,
that's good.
Yeah.
My ancestors are crying out.
It's great. I love it. Anyway, yeah, I don't get this whole. I mean, I get why privacy is important, but like everyone's stealing my privacy, so I don't.
There's no, let's use some more precise language if we're going to talk about this in any way, which I propose we do for a very short amount of time.
Okay.
Because privacy can't actually be stolen, right?
Yeah.
The things are being viewed and taken and consumed is just information, right? Information about you that you have not put into the public sphere, right?
Yeah.
Our sort of attitudes around what information and what like our behaviors we consider public and private have obviously changed a lot over the past 200 years with the invention of just like so much more like different attitudes around housing, different attitudes around like specifically like stuff you can do inside the house and outside as far as like sexual relationship wise, so much with like marriage laws and like how you raise your children and how they school without even going into like internet privacy and information there with the invention of social media and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Right.
The reason why I'm passionate about it is just because like, hey, if I want to look up, like steam cookers on Amazon, I don't want to be put into a watch list where if I also text something about ISIS, just for example, I don't want to be put even on an even worse list.
I mean,
where
that's
I'm
like, okay, no.
Like
so, no, yeah, that's messed up because that's like assumptive information gathering where the government is I mean that's the government making assumptions about what I agree, right? But I was thinking more like, sorry, when you said Google, I just assumed you were talking more about like them seeing that I'm looking up rice cookers and they're like, oh, we'll target rice cooker ads at him, and stuff like that. I'm like, I really don't care, like, because I don't need a rice cooker. I already have one, and I'm planning on using that rice cooker literally until it either breaks or it starts giving me lead poisoning. So
either of which comes first.
I'm never buying a new one.
Got you.
So like, I don't care if they target me with ads about stuff I don't.
Got you.
I mean, I don't care if they target me with ads about stuff I do need. Like if I start looking up stuff like pencils, and they're like, send him all the expensive pencils, maybe he'll buy. Like I don't care. Advertising doesn't work on me. No, I'm kidding.
The thing I'm thinking about, I guess, is not. I have my own views about the constitutionality of like wiretapping and like domestic surveillance and all that stuff. Yes. But we're just talking about big tech companies, right? Because of the stuff.
Technically, you consent to let them use when you sign.
Right.
When you sign the 50-page document. When you sign it by clicking the checkbox,
right,
you consent to them using all the data.
Yeah. So. There's a very easy sort of position to take, which is just like, hey, you signed up for the service. Anything you do is sort of like available to anyone. It's your fault for posting whatever on Facebook.
I agree.
On the other hand, a father is very concerned when his daughter makes post about like, oh, so excited to go for a vacation at this time, and their house gets robbed because they knew the house was going to be, no one was in there.
Yeah, empty. Yeah.
So there's like so many different facets.
Well, I think the
security.
solution to that is just to stop using social media. I think in general people should just stop using social media. I don't. I'm not saying that means like total disassociation is good, But I think, like, for example, I use Twitter, but like I just shitpost on Twitter. It's just fun. I don't like like use social media knowing that you're not going to release any of your personal information on there. But if you do, then you should probably just not use social media.
Right.
It's honestly not that great. Like, I know people that use Facebook, but they use it for like they have the new the invitation system and like the event planning system. People use it for that, but I
honestly don't think of social media that much. I think it's derivative to talk about it like singularly in that way. People think of like technology and privacy, they always go to social media immediately, and like it's gotten so much backlash recently with like Russian hacking and meddling and like swaying American electorate or whatever.
Yeah.
So many different things that there's getting a lot of hot political topics about. But like I think of Google's algorithms that go through all my emails in Gmail and like say that like, oh, this is how this is the best way to auto-complete his sentence, because he talks in this way, which is equally helpful and equally knowledge that I would think would be better if some extremely large company doesn't have about me.
The weird part is that like when you send an email on Google, now they do the thing where they like they'll have like the preset responses,
Yeah.
Like if someone sends you an email and they're like, "Can you check this out?" And you're like, "Yeah, I'll check it out." That's one of the boxes, and you like. I mean, I know that what it's doing is it's just a computer that is reading that ending, and it's seeing check this please, and it's like, cool, I'll check it, right? I mean, I doubt that. I mean, but at the same time, it's weird that it is reading my email. Like I don't like that. Don't read my email. But
it's just a tiny microcosm of like all the different ways in which the same thing occurs, the same principle.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it is right to be like resistant to this stuff and to not like it. But it's also important to adapt to the fact that it is most likely going to take over everything, and that most likely, maybe this is just pessimistic of me, but I'm trying to be realistic here. Like, yeah, it's important to be resistant to this stuff, but it's so convenient that we're going to keep using it, and since we keep using it, these companies are going to keep making money, which means they're going to keep stealing your privacy, which means like you just got to adapt and not give them anything.
Which is sort of my point
instead.
Yeah, that's my point about the difference between like individuals and a conglomerate of people, where the point is that and in incentives and like what you're giving up, when you give into a system like that, like what Google brings to you, as opposed to like all the photos you're uploading to it, every time you drive somewhere and use Google Maps, all the information they have there, because their fingers are in so much. The danger for just a median average person isn't very much, but the institutional danger, when there's so many people that use that,
that's right.
This is what I talked a lot about in my studies of like global geopolitics and how it goes into science, technology, how they influence each other, because these big tech firms like interrupt a lot of like normal sort of like national, international roles about like political power, because of the power of the information they wield, right? They form these strange pockets of like interdimensionality of like agreement and tension and like having citizens, in a way that nations haven't before. It disrupts our sort of like global system, is how we think of just like, oh, there's nations defined by geographical boundaries. Like that whole sort of system is like uprooted in this way.
Well, I mean, that's like part of if you look up the word transnationalism.
Yeah.
I mean, the way I might use that in like my national identity studies or something is a bit different when I use it like in terms of the individual. But if you use it in terms of like, global politics and economics, it literally is kind of like the I don't know, like the removal of the strict boundaries around nations, and instead the moving towards more like, big companies don't like nationalism. They don't like nations at all. It is just globalism. Ideally,
anarcho-capitalism.
Ideally, super corporations, what they want is just to own as much capital as possible, and if that means like land or blah blah whatever. Nowadays that's not even important. Yeah, as long as they're controlling the nations almost like puppets, then that's just as good. Yeah. Because as long as they can have their free trade agreements and all that stuff, they don't. Yeah. It doesn't matter to them.
No, we're going to wrap up the segment a little bit because we got some great interview questions that we're going to get to, which I realized we didn't start with, but we're going to focus on a couple of these because we got some real spot-on ones for you guys.
Nice,
but
nice.
The last thing I want to say is that recently I just saw an article about a cryptocurrency millionaire who wants to create his sort of utopia in the Nevada desert. And the reason why that's notable is because, one, it seems like almost slightly normal, right? Like, it's crazy, but also just like plausible.
Yeah.
And that's scary because recently a book came out, I think a year or two ago, by David Wong. I've read a couple of his other stuff. Have you heard of him before?
I think I've heard of him, but I haven't read
He wrote
any
like
stuff.
John Dies at the End. He's a writer for Cracked.com.
No, never.
And so his real name is Jason Pargin. He's a pretty smart guy. He's very much into research and explaining things. And he's this book. I can't remember the specific name of it, but it's his most recent one to come out. I think it was all about this world influenced by social media and this interruption of corporations doing what we think of as typically governmental roles.
Yeah.
And so it was about this enormous megacity in the Nevada desert that was tent-poled by like 3 different billionaires, like Peter Thiel, Elon Musk types.
Those guys, okay.
Or cryptocurrency or whatever. And they created just a completely different way to live. So it was literally an enclave, like within the United States, that was like losing power, right? So it was this very specific, like, crazy sort of dystopia that was all about this exact sort of like strange governmental disruption and like power and how we wield it. So because so many people think like, well, if it was just done by the smart billionaire who could make like, the trains run on time and make the sidewalks,
that's
bigger and like have cars drive you and like, it's easier to make a living and all this beautiful stuff in this city.
I mean, that's the grand illusion, really, is that it's a smart billionaire. Like, most of the rich people in existence got lucky. That's it. That's really what all of it is. It's just, did you get lucky enough to be born into a situation where you could make a lot of money? Yeah. For most people in the world, the answer is no.
And it's not just about being born, but it's about the context you have about your family and you being able to
how
grow up
you're raised, like, all of that stuff.
Were you in the ability to read an article about cryptocurrency in like 2011?
Yes.
To be able to find like get in at the ground floor, that
all
sort of thing.
All of that is luck, and then what ends up happening is people attribute that to success, and then they think Elon Musk is smart, but we all know he's not, because if you listen to him on Joe Rogan's podcast, he smokes weed. And weed is trash. It's for idiots. If you smoke weed, you're dumb.
That ganja makes your brain go bye-bye.
Makes your brain go panja.
Well, that was...
That's how you know that there is no such thing as a smart billionaire.
If he were smart, he wouldn't have that sticky icky.
Exactly.
Wiki. Yeah.
Dummy.
Which, he's also a very hardworking, sort of smart guy. But
yeah.
the point
the real reason he's an idiot is because he thinks he's a socialist, which is stupid.
We don't have time to get into that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that tweet was hilarious.
Right.
Like, if you need any more proof that this guy is not in any way a genius or smart, the fact that he thinks he's a socialist should immediately make that clear to you. Mm-hmm. That's not how that works.
Just because people are smart doesn't mean we should trust them with sort of how our civilizations are built.
Yeah,
that's sort of the thing.
Yeah.
Especially the people that, are less than smart.
I don't know. If it was true that, we had this, like, if it was possible, I think, in this ideal situation, like this Plato's Republic, where the philosopher kings are all ruling society, then yeah, right? But that's if you have this idealistic view of wisdom, where wisdom just means that like you have some kind of, like, precognition, exactly the right way to organize things, right?
Yeah.
But there's different ways of being wise. There's different ways in which you can have wisdom about things. Different people are going to think different people are wise. Some people are going to think the same person. One person's going to think they're wise. One person's not. Mm-hmm. It's not. I'm not trying to say it's subjective, but it's not this like uniform idealistic thing. Okay, let's get to the interview questions.
All right, absolutely. So so last time we've only gone through 3 like each episode. There are a total of 36 of these. So we're gonna have a little speed round. This is gonna be our main thing. No snacks today, baby. We're just gonna snack on these questions.
Okay.
So the first one we're gonna let's hit this. What was the last gift you gave someone? Okay. Now remember, this isn't an interview, right? Interviewer asks you this. You come in. Glassdoor suggested this apparently. What was the last gift you gave someone?
What was the last gift?
What
I'm trying to remember what the actual last gift I gave.
Yeah, let's answer ourselves. I remember mine.
I gave flowers to this girl once, like a month ago.
A month ago?
Yeah, something like that.
What was this? When was this?
A month ago.
Okay, well, yeah, thank you. I got that part. Why was this?
Well, I don't want to share that on the podcast. I'm just
No,
trying to think
definitely
of
share
when
it on the podcast.
I'm
This
trying to
is the
think
best
of when, I'm trying to think
content,
of when the
Philip.
last. Okay, I'm trying to think of when the last time I gave a gift was.
That sounds like it was the last time.
But that like flowers are like $8. I'm trying to. That's not a gift. That's
Only
like,
well, flowers can be expensive. How many
okay.
flowers did you give? Was it a bouquet? Was it like half dozen?
Like a small bouquet.
It's a small bouquet. Why'd you give a girl a small bouquet of flowers?
We don't need to talk about that.
We can talk about it.
I don't want to talk
we
about
need
that.
to
on
talk
the pod.
about
That's
it.
very personal. I don't know if I want to
that
talk
personal.
about it. Maybe episode 8. You know, we can get into Philip's
8.
relationship
Okay.
stuff. We can have an episode
Relationship
about
stuff.
that. But
Wow, full-on relationship
well,
stuff, not just a
okay.
person.
Well, let's
Ooh, viewers,
Point is-
speculate
okay,
in the comments, boys.
let me-
Start
let
a
me-
subreddit.
Let me explain.
we need conspiracy theories.
Let me explain why this question is bad.
Sure.
Okay.
Explain. Go for it.
You have to say something expensive here. Otherwise, they know you're poor, and no one wants to hire poor people.
I did not think of that. Okay.
No one wants
got
to hire poor people.
Gotcha.
So you have to say, well, my buddy, he was getting married. I bought him a Rolex, so that was pretty.
That's good. I bought him a house. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a
I
house,
love you
just
so
a
much.
little house in the Caymans.
Yeah. Also, I'm deeply in debt. And I need a new.
Yeah, my other friends, they were talking about this game, Red Dead Redemption. I don't play video games because I make money, but I bought them all Xboxes and got them the games, or PlayStations, whatever.
I flew them into space on that one Virgin space flight.
That was pretty good. Yeah, I was up there with Ashton Kutcher too. He's my best friend. See, this is a great question to just brag about how rich you are, but you can't go too rich though, or else they might think he doesn't need this job.
I don't think you can really go any. He doesn't need it. I think you can go any rich. It's a little bit like that. My thing, I'm more interested in the inherent cringiness in the question because, imagine.
Wait. Hold on. Is it what was the last gift? Yeah. What was the last gift you?
Yeah. What was the last gift you gave someone?
Got it.
And so that's the question, right? Imagine me, interviewer, suit and tie, just sitting there like a little nervous, right? Just like, well, it was my sister's birthday a couple weeks ago, so I bought some lotion from Bath and Body Works and then gave that to her.
Yeah.
And then just silence for 2
Well,
full
I think
seconds.
that they might be like, okay, that's good because you're thoughtful and you're like thinking about your sister, because like I would
That's
never,
like-
if I had sisters or brothers, I would never buy them gifts ever. Because like
What do you mean never?
Well, because they still have to be my brother and sister no matter what. So I don't like. I just think okay.
Yeah, you're not gonna.
This is a great segue to talk about.
It's
This is
not.
a great segue to talk about gift giving. Gift
Yes,
giving
it's true.
is garbage. Why do we do that? Why do we Okay, I shouldn't say gift giving is garbage. Giving gifts is a very good way of showing how much you care about someone, friendship or relationship wise, doesn't matter, right? Obviously, that's true, but the perversion of that in our modern society of gift cards. Like you're literally down when you buy a gift card. I want you to understand what you're logically doing. You're taking a $20 bill and you're removing the value of it, which is the fact that it can be, which is what the reason why currency was invented, to be used everywhere. You're turning it into a $20 bill. You can only use it one place.
But it's like thoughtful because I know you love Applebee's.
But it's thoughtful because I love things other than Applebee's too. And you can just give me $20 so I can get closer to buying a Rolex, right? Unless you're giving me $20 to the Rolex store, unless you know exactly what I want to spend that $20 on in the future. Gift card. Okay, so that's my thing on gift cards. Gift cards suck. Don't buy gift cards for people. That in fact, when someone gets me a gift card, I think less of them than if they'd got me nothing. Because I prefer getting nothing because then I'm like, your friendship is gift enough. Than if they just get me
loser.
If they just no, it's not a loser. It's not friendship. Okay. That's what I was trying to segue to.
Oh sure.
Like the culture of days where you're expected to give gifts to people. There should never be a situation in which you're expected to give gifts to someone. The whole point should be you give gifts to people out of the norm. There should never be a situation where you're expected to give gifts because that's necessarily going to create like a competitive environment. It's necessarily going to create like an expectation dynamic that might not need to exist, like Valentine's Day, right? Or like the opposite of Valentine's Day, or
what's the opposite of Valentine's
Halloween,
Day?
Or like Christmas.
There's candy then too, chocolate.
Christmas, I would actually prefer if Christmas was like maybe you buy everyone that you're in your family or whatever, like a piece of clothing, you know, like a nice, like a piece of some socks or something either like funny or playful or like a sweater or like something like that. And then you go and have family dinner. That's it. Like the whole dynamic around having to put gifts under a tree and like maybe it's just because I don't like consumerism and I'm very like anti-consumerist and maybe just because I don't like buying things because I'm very frugal and I like to hoard all of my stuff.
Frugal. You're making so many arm gestures.
That's what I hate about podcasts. I'm a very arm gesture guy and I can't anyway.
That's why we're doing a podcast.
I just don't like gift giving. I'm just gonna say it. I'm cheap and I don't like giving gifts to people.
Listen, I'm not going to be able to go counterpoint with you on this because I agree too much.
Yes.
Because I also dislike gift giving, though for a more specific, less Grinchy type of reason. Yeah. It's just that I specifically don't like, and my fiance hates it even more than I do. She doesn't like the sort of pressure that's around gift giving. There's so much culture of like gift giving that's how it shows how familiar we are with each other, how long we've known each other, how much I know about how you're doing in life right now. So much about like, oh, this is what I wanted and I tell you to get it, which seems so strange. There's so many strange dynamics about when you get the gift and you, especially on Christmas. Yes. And you open it and you look inside and you're like, oh, thank you so much. And you have to either fake it or even if it's genuine, like I still feel like I have to fake it. If it's genuine that I actually like it. Because it's all about like the effusive response and the big reaction. You know, just like, oh my God, I love this shirt so much. I love this iPod Nano. Yeah. I mean, you know, when you're kids, when me and my sister were like 10 or whatever, or 8, and we got like an iPod Nano for the first time, like it was a big deal. We were yelling and jumping up and down and everything. Yeah. But that's because you're very, very young. You're a child, you know? That doesn't happen when you're older. You don't jump up and down because you're a crazy person. I agree. And so the pressure around it, like it needs to be less because especially for things like birthdays, for friends' birthdays, and for families' birthdays, yes, I would be fine with it not being like a gift thing if for them it would also not be a gift thing, right? Because like I just what ends up happening if it's equal at all is I'm just paying free money to Amazon for like no reason, just in taxes, right? Just to get a scarf and then give it to my mom, and for me to get like a book from her also on my Amazon wish list, you know, which is nice. I'm glad. Maybe I wouldn't have bought the book for myself. Maybe I would have, you know. But the point is like, listen, can I show I love you and care about you and serve you and like that's the thing, in other ways.
That's the thing about wish lists is that you're essentially saying, here's my list of things that I would want, and then you're like the whole value of it is like, but I'm not just telling you I want this specific thing. You can make a choice. You can surprise me. You get me the coffee maker. You get me the book. You get me the I don't know.
And if you buy something not on the list, then
no matter what you get me, it's going to be something that I already said I wanted, right?
Right.
But the thing is that offsets the whole. Like, why don't you just spend time with this person and go to Bed Bath & Beyond with them? Go to the bookstore with them, right?
Yeah.
Go look through books together. Like there's like that to me. Even if I went to the bookstore with someone and didn't end up buying, they didn't buy me anything, or we left the store without buying anything. That would mean way more to me than someone just giving me something on my Amazon wish list. I mean,
that's a good idea. I hadn't thought about it that way. Like I'm thinking of a lot of Christmases with my parents, and like I would way rather go to like. Even if my mom was just like went to like I don't know Ross or like Kohl's or something and like saw a shirt, like I'd rather just like spend 30 minutes with her, just like, hey, you know, we can look through like clothes together or whatever, help her, she helps me or whatever, just like, hey, does this look good? And then just, you know, get a shirt together because it's gonna be one. If I'm gonna get one, it's gonna be one that I like right? And that way, instead of me having to like put all this like energy and time and like appreciation into like this 30-second burst where I have to be oh my God, thank you, and hug you and everything.
One of the things I think is okay, for example, is like Secret Santa, right? Or like a white elephant type thing, like gift giving games.
Because there's no wish list.
Those are different because they're games, you know, and so like they're fun because of the process itself already, and there's no you don't like play Secret Santa like, oh man, hope, and like in the office, like, man, I really hope I get that iPod, you know. Or
I really wanted a PS4. So
like I really hope No, you play it because like I'm probably gonna get some eraser or like a water bottle or something. But you do it like for example, like you play Secret Santa, and if you know that like Philip's a swimmer, you might like get him some goggles or like and then that way it's like they had to figure something out about you. Right, and they had to get you something that relates to like who you are.
Yeah, and then like your cousin accidentally gets your goggles, you know, instead, And then like,
well, if you, that's if you do the Office thing that Michael did, and you turn Secret Santa into a white elephant at the end, but they're supposed to be separate games.
Right. But the whole point is then they can be nice and be like, hey, you can steal this for this, that sort of thing to like work. If it was, I'm just thinking of Christmas now, but if it was a white elephant for something like that, that'd be way more fun for like family than just the sort of here's like some toys and here's a book and here's some clothes.
Right.
Here's a gift card. Ugh.
Yeah, it's
Do we have anything else to say about gifts, or do we rant long enough?
No, I mean, I just don't even get why this is an interview question. Like this, because this is. Right. I just don't get why. Like, how does this help you as an employer at all? What is this going to tell you about someone?
Yeah, that is the real question. What does it show you about someone? Because like, I can't imagine the follow up question. Like I say, like what I got for like my sister's birthday.
Yes.
What is the next thing about like? Oh, thank you for sharing that. Did she like it?
Yeah, well, I guess maybe they're just trying to figure out if you get if you're even considerate at all. Like what was the last gift you gave someone? And you're like, oh shit.
It was like a 30-second pause where you're trying to think. You're like, shoot, do I hate people? Have I never gifted anything?
I don't think I've given a gift in the last like half a year, and they're like,
wow, what a selfish.
Okay, I mean, in my situation, maybe it'd be like I could turn it into like, well, you see, I actually don't believe in gift giving, and then it's like interesting.
That'd be the worst thing you could do.
And I can turn it into like a discussion. Like, well, I get everyone gets gift, and I do participate in gift giving. I just really think we shouldn't, and I think that the situation around gift giving is actually very negative and bad. Yeah. And that really it just helps companies like Hallmark and gift card and every company that has a gift card, which is everywhere now. Make more money. I think it's actually pushed socially by kind of a cabal of corporations who are trying to get us to spend more money.
No matter,
which is why I refuse to participate.
No matter who's interviewing you, there's no way you come off in a good light when you see something like that.
Yeah, well, that's why I don't have a job.
Right. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. The next question is these are all basically questions that are like just. Like icebreakers, right? Just the most bizarro icebreakers from some weird BuzzFeed listicle, you know. Right. The next one is just a artwork in vagaries and abstractness. What were you like in high school? Which, depending on the age that you're asked this, is like, if there's a good reason if like you're like 19, and like you're getting your first like big boy job or you're out of college or something, and it's just like, hey, what did you do in high school? Like, what were you interested in, or what did you work? But just what were you like? The answer is like bad, like not good. I either think I was a really good dude and I was the worst, or I was terrible.
If I get this question on an interview, dude, I would literally get PTSD. Like I'm like, what? Like, what were you like in high school? First off, that's a question you ask someone about someone else. What was Philip like in high school?
Yeah, that's
true. You don't ask me to tell you what I was like. I'm going to tell you, one, I'm either going to tell you only the good things, or in my case, I'm going to tell you nothing because there were no good things. And I was a cynical, pessimistic, edgy teenager that hated everyone and hated himself and listened to Nirvana. And like, what do you want me to say?
These are the type of questions that bring on the most vague answers, right? Of just unmet pleasantries, right?
Yeah.
Or you answer honestly, and it's the worst, most cringiest thing.
Am I supposed to say the social group I was in? Like, oh, I was a straight jock. I was a jock. I played. Yeah, dude. I was just swimming laps all the time.
Your jock voice,
like,
so good.
Hell yeah, dude. Like, I mean, honestly, I'll tell you,
your jock voice is such a stoner.
For sure.
What is that?
Like,
that's not a jock voice.
I'm like really into football, and I'm just gonna say I used to run like straight tackles. Okay, I was really good.
Run straight tackles.
I was sick.
Have you seen a football?
Yeah, dude. Like, honestly, man.
No. I'm just gonna say,
done. High school was definitely like the peak of my life. Like, I was king in high school.
Anybody who says that,
I was hitting it off. Yeah.
Anybody who says that,
I was doing great in high school.
All right. So,
yo, you want to buy a joint? Yeah. Anyway,
I dealt drugs in high school. Also, I still do.
Yeah, that's my job now because
that's why I want the new
reliving
job.
The glory years by taking psilocybin every weekend. Yeah.
So sort of in conclusion, what were you like in high school? It's what were you like in high school? Interviewer, there's no good answer there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If you can think of a good answer,
yeah, you gotta pull. Well, see, for a question like this, you gotta pull a Brett Kavanaugh. You gotta be like, what were you like in high school? Do you like what do you?
I like beer, Senator. Do you?
Yeah, in high school, I love to drink. I love to drink beer in high school. Do you like to? What do you like to drink? What were you like in high school? Did you listen to Nirvana?
Did you like to party, Mr.
Yeah. That's what you gotta pull. You gotta
Johnson,
do that one.
did you like to party?
Actually, that'd be my answer. What were you like in high school? I loved doing Devil's Triangles all the time. That was my favorite pastime in high school. I was doing those in the supply closet. I was doing those in the classrooms.
Dude, don't
outside in the fountain.
We can't have this explicit tag, please. Come on.
What do you mean? We have an explicit tag on every single. Well, it's not. It's not explicit. It's a drinking game. It's not explicit.
Oh right. All right. Sorry.
Game.
I'm sorry. I was thinking of like sort of reality and what it actually was. I'm sorry. I forget. It's a drinking game.
It's a drinking game. Of course. It's a drinking game. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. I was boofing Devil's Triangles all the time. It was totally a drinking game. There's nothing sexual about this.
Well, we laugh, but this is terrible.
Yeah,
I would like to no longer think about high school or anything.
I agree. High school sucks.
Let's move on with our interview special. Yes. All right, so this is number 9. All right, what's the last thing you watched on TV, and why did you choose to watch it?
Oh my God, like, is there gonna be a question in here where I don't have to like put my face in my hand and like cringe? Like,
no, you have every single time. The thing that sticks out to me first is just like these questions are so close to just like normal getting to know people questions, but there's always a turn in them, something that like some 50-year-old dad trying to reach his like 15-year-old son, you know, there's some level of like distance here which is like unavoidable, and I think it's and why did you choose to watch it?
That's the worst part. Yeah, like what's the last thing you watched on TV? That'd be pretty cool, but why did you choose to watch it? Like here'd be my answer, right? They'd say, what was the last thing you watched on TV? Like, well, I don't actually have cable, but I just watched that Jack Ryan series on Amazon. That was pretty cool. Yeah, and they're like, oh, why? And why did you choose to watch that? I mean, it just looked cool. The picture was cool. Yeah, I like had, I don't know, Jack is a cool name.
It was in front of me. I picked it with my mouse.
There was a gun. It was Jim from The Office holding a gun. I was like, that was pretty fucking sick.
Which that gets you put on a watch list, and there's no.
I was like, I don't know. It looked cool. Like, what do you mean, why? There's no philosophical reason behind... When I'm watching TV, I'm trying to turn my brain off. I'm not trying... Like, there's no like, deep, like, oh, well, you see, it's because I watched Jack Ryan because I had this childhood dream of becoming a CIA officer, and I never got the chance to fulfill that fantasy, and so watching these shows is my way of trying to pretend like I'm a... You know, it's
well, because like there's
really
multiple extremes. There's multiple extremes, right? The one is like the turn off your brain, just like The Bachelor, right? Yeah. Like at 5:30 every day, like I get a margarita, right? And I like turn on whatever's on like CBS or like whatever on Channel 13. And it normally is The Bachelor, you know, or The Bachelorette. Yep. And I just watch that for like 2 hours because I need to feel non-human for a while. Yes, absolutely. Oh, and then the other extreme, which also that's not a good answer to this question. Yes. And the other extreme is closer to what I do, which is just like, oh, well, like I'm really like delicately watching like Better Call Saul for a long time because I like really slow shows, like delve deep into like character progression and like or like Hannibal is like a good exploration of like humans relationship to like meat and like life and death, and like it's a terrible poetic like operatic, you know, sort of show, at which point you lost like everybody. Nobody cares about how much you care about this TV show.
My answer is literally, why did I watch it? Because I like shooty bang bang. I don't what do you mean? I'm a carnal primal being. I just want to watch some explosions. I don't need like. Do I need a reason? Do I need a reason for that?
Or the other side is like, I'm watching Firefly for the 14th time, you know, because I hate Fox with like every fiber of my being, and I need to like support Joss Whedon any way I can.
Weird,
yeah. There's no.
Like 2 times is enough, man. Yeah. Why are you gonna watch it 14 times?
It's like you're trying to bond with someone, you know, like over the question, right? Like, hey, what do you watch on TV? You know, but like. Yeah. It's not that it's intimate, right? But it's like people's viewing ecosystems are so far apart at this point. Like we did this recently in a group that I was in, just like, hey, what are you watching on TV? Like everybody go around and like answer, and it was like so many different answers, like completely different, you know?
Yeah, right.
So they'd be like, This Is Us, UFC, The Bachelor.
Oh, UFC counts?
Mine was like
I
The
thought it
Good
meant
Place.
like TV shows. You can just anything on TV.
I guess.
Oh.
What you watched on TV. So it could be just like news. Which, if you give that answer, then you're a terrible person because it's probably Fox, and you're probably 60.
But also probably the best person to hire for the job.
It's just like, oh, sir, I watch MSNBC on the daily.
Well, actually, no. If you watch news on TV, yeah, you're probably not.
And that's what he's saying.
Yeah, you should be getting your news probably not off the TV these days.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Again, that's not a mainstream media thing. It's just that it's a TV thing.
Or you could be really literal and be like, well, actually, the last TV I saw was actually in the airport on my way here. So the last thing I did see, in fact, was CNN. So you got me there. You got me there. You know.
In the waiting room, I caught about 3 minutes of Dateline. So
yeah, I got like that Gordon Ramsay show, and it's like down.
Which has the real answer. Everybody goes down to. You know, just be like, oh, I watch Gordon Ramsay clips on YouTube.
I love that. I love the Gordon Ramsay because they really their sound designer really loves the sound effects. And he just does those every single he just does those all the time, when Gordon Ramsay says something, and then one of the people they zoom the camera on their face, and they're like that. Oh man, that's the best. That noise. I can't. Maybe I'll insert it here and I'll edit it in.
Yeah, maybe we don't edit. Remember, that's a proud standard of our.
We're not gonna do that. You can just YouTube, Google it, and just type in Gordon Ramsay sound effect. I guarantee you'll find it.
Yeah. And honestly, as we're talking about, I would way more bond with someone if they were like, hey, what do you what do you watch? I mean, do you watch a lot of YouTube? You know, do you stream a bunch of stuff? Yes. It'd be like, hey, I was like, oh yeah, let's talk about YouTubers and channels we like. You know,
yes.
That shows that you're more disruptive media sort of person. They're like, I actually know what's up on the internet.
Yeah, especially since this is probably going to be these are interview questions that BuzzFeed type companies would ask you. Mm-hmm. That's the better answers. I don't watch TV.
Which, for the record, these are all from Forbes, Glassdoor, Fast Company, Quora, Flex.
Yeah, actually, I don't have the TV. Me and my girlfriend watch all of our Netflix on my laptop. It's I mean, we're really frugal, and I think she loves me. Even though she kind of says maybe I should get a TV sometimes, I think it's a joke. I don't think she actually means it.
I think it's the same as your jock voice.
It's a little more laid back.
Your impressions, I think, get worse every show. I think you need to practice more.
Well, I don't care. I'm not trying to impress anyone. It's just
impress me.
The reason I do the impression is so that it's not me talking. It's someone else.
Gotcha.
That's the only reason.
Oh, is that
the only reason?
That's really good. All right, so I think let's keep going with the questions. There's even more. We're in a hot streak of them being impossible to answer mainly.
Yes.
And so this one is: any advice for your previous boss?
Wait, any advice for him?
Any advice for your previous boss? Which so far is the most technical and relevant question that has been asked on this list, which is clocks in at number 10, by the way, the most relevant one. And it's also most he...
Yeah, my advice, stop telling women to smile, Mark. You can't say that, dude. It's messed up, man.
Yeah, it's either...
Also, maybe stop groping them in your office. You have you have window walls. We can all see what's happening. It's fucked up, dude. Don't do that.
Again, with the swearing,
oh,
please.
Sorry.
This is bring your children back out. I know you covered their ears really quickly.
I'm sorry.
You guys react really fast, but bring them back in.
It's messed up, dude. It's messed up.
Put the earphones
back. You
back
can't do that. Don't do that, man. Don't ask them what color panties they're wearing. That's not.
Yeah, this question.
That's my advice for my.
That's probably good. Yeah, see, that'd be a good example of something not to bring up because but of the answers you have, there's no. It just forces you to put you in the position of critiquing, your old boss, which is fine. That happens in interviews sometimes where well, my last position didn't leave me a lot of room to grow, and I'd rather work on these projects, and that's that's totally helpful, good answer to provide your future employer with.
Yeah.
But for this sort of thing, advice for your previous boss is get off my back, Jack. Don't micromanage me so much. Or it's forcing you into this position of being
you gotta say something. You gotta say something that this interviewer is gonna try to implement. So
exactly.
You gotta be strategic about it. You gotta say, he should really pay his employees more.
Right. You're almost forcing your interviewer to be in the same position.
A lot more.
Yeah. He was always wanting me to do my work and do it on time, and I was not about that.
You really should stop overworking your employees. And wink at them while you're saying it.
Yeah. I don't think that would... you need to stop gesturing. And no one gets it. This is great audio.
Yeah. I know. Sorry. I just realized that.
So anything else?
I was winking the whole time.
Yeah. No, I got that. I feel funny. Is there anything else to that question? Because I'm sure there's good ways to maybe handle that question and turn it into something good, but
it's not. You can just skip that one. That one sucks.
All right, this one. Okay, we got another practical question, which is wow. I'm feeling good now. Maybe we get some real questions. Maybe there's a chance. Okay, listeners, text us right now at 855-7322 AmericanIdol.com and let us know what you think this will be a good question or a baddie.
Right.
And number 11 clocks in at, tell me something about your last job other than money that would have inspired you to keep working there.
Tell me something about your last
job. So what do you think of this question, Flynn?
Other than money.
Other than money.
That inspired me to work there?
Yeah, to keep working there. So that's what I analyzed this.
I don't have nothing. Okay, especially if you're like transitioning into like a professional environment, like you mean my job at Arby's? Yeah, nothing. I literally was only there
for it to
money.
Not be Arby's. There would be
what inspired me about the job, maybe the idea that one day I could have a job that isn't this. There's nothing about the job itself though. I hate it.
Let's think of a real corporate sort of white collar job though. You work for like something insurance company, and you're like, well, they weren't paying for me while there wasn't room for movement, so that's why I'm applying at this new different place up downtown, and so I want to, they could have kept me there with like donuts, better break. They could have like health and dental.
The donuts really would have inspired me. Every time I walk into the break room, I see that pink glazed donut. Like, this is why I work here. They could
have recognized, how much work I was putting in, sort of like invited me up to partner position or something.
It's actually interesting you asked that question, interviewer. My old job, I really enjoyed it. I sold insurance packages, and I really loved scamming old people. I mean, sometimes I would work overtime and not take overtime pay just to scam some old people. Mm-hmm. Like, I know it sounds like evil or whatever, but like, there is something fun about stealing the money of dumb old people. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I can see how that probably wouldn't work out. It's a good answer.
Honestly, that's inspirational. If there's anything that's inspirational, it's that.
The uncomfortable thing about this question is that, same as the last one, it forces you to critique your last job in a way that you may not be prepared for, in a way that is not flattering to you, to like no matter what, right? That's right. Because you come off as bitter. If it's a real critique, you come off as that way a little bit. You're like, well, they didn't do it with me this way, so like I hope you guys won't do me like this either.
That's right. Yeah.
So the next one, we're gonna blaze through these. 12 is, what is the funniest thing that has happened to you recently?
Funniest thing that's happened to me recently.
Oh, sick, dude! Check it. Let me.
I slipped on this banana peel outside, dude. That was fucking crazy.
No. I found this deep fried meme, dude, on
Reddit.
Yes, Yo, come here. Look, it's the dude from Shrek saying "E." Do you get it?
Yo, dude. Yeah, dude. Is that you know Farquaad from Shrek? Yeah. And then he's got the Markiplier face on it, dude. And he just goes E, dude. It's man, I laughed.
Do you get it?
Do
you get it?
One, dude.
Also, I'm very Gen Z.
That was sick, dude. I love deep fried memes. What kind of memes do you like, guys? You guys like memes? I love memes.
Talking about memes in the meat space is like the worst thing possible. But that is probably the funniest thing you've seen recently. Or it's just like, I watched this. I don't know, like I watched this stand up from like Louis C.K. recently, and everyone's gonna be like, oh no, that's not a good thing.
Yeah. Wait, why? Why is it a good thing? What do you mean? The whole sexual assault thing?
Yeah.
What are you talking? What do you mean? Oh, well,
an artist's life does not impact his work.
What are you talking about? Like, I can still like his stuff. People need a second chance, okay? Like, I don't understand. Okay, I think Me Too's gone too. Honestly, guys, I think Me Too's gone too far. Can I just talk about that in this interview really quick? You can't just do that, man. You can't just accuse people of things. Like, it's just not. It's not cool, man. Like, I got accused in my last job. That's how you know too.
Yeah,
by the way. Those guys is you're like when they start talking about that, you're like, I'm waiting for the part where he's like, my last job, I got accused of saying. You're like, there it is. There it is.
Maybe we're going about this all wrong. Maybe these questions are designed very intelligently for the exact purpose of baiting and bringing out these people. I saw
this one.
Nice, dude. That's a sick meme. I'm looking at it right now, listener. That's a good meme, actually. That's funny.
Do you want me to make this the picture for this podcast?
Yeah. Make it. This is the one you're probably looking at then right now. Yeah. It's very good.
I
get it because it's Emoji.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of hundreds, and there's a Red Dead guy, and he's like looking at him, and then he has a real gun, but then the emoji thing has like the finger guns.
Yeah.
It's funny
Yeah,
because it's emojis. Yeah.
Oh,
I'll make that the picture.
Yeah, that's probably worth it.
You know what? I'll just interpolate a couple of different memes.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'll pick
really good, tasteful ones. Also,
yeah, I'll pick some really good ones.
Yeah.
Pick some really good ones. Yeah.
So maybe these questions are really just about maybe we're going about these all wrong. We've been taking them too much from the interviewer side and like how impossible and terrible these are. Maybe these are explicitly for the person leading the interview, right? Not the interviewee, but the interviewer. And they're like, hey, this is all about getting them, it's tossing them the worst balls imaginable and seeing how they seeing how they hit them, and that like there's no good answer for these. Like this is their way to get out of this. Are they able to find a way out of these terrible questions? Are they able to bring up something funny that's not going to offend some random person who they just met?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's a good test. Maybe we've not giving them enough credit.
Yeah. Actually, no, it is because then they know if you're the kind of guy who can gauge the humor of
exactly of people you just met like 20 minutes ago. They
need to know that you're not the kind of guy that makes rape jokes in public.
That if you're traveling to like go close a deal in like Kansas City, for like a bunch of copiers or whatever, and then you're not just gonna bring up like, hey, you seen this sick meme like CFO of this paper company and like totally ruin anything with your terrible toxic personality.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, this one.
I'm gonna give that.
This one. I'm gonna give this one a 6 out of 10. This has got.
Oh,
some
we're rating
points.
them now. Okay, that's good. We've really been on a journey. These have really taken a lot. I can't imagine. We're like barely a third through, so there's a lot here.
Yes.
There's a lot here. I'm excited. Well, this is. I think we're gonna cut this one short. Does that sound good to you? Philly?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's cut it sub hour. I want to see how that plays with the SEO on stuff.
Okay.
Hell right now we're currently at like 100,000 views, and I'm trying to bank it up to at 600,000. Like us, retweet.
We don't have a tweet. Yeah, retweet
no, for
us.
sure. It doesn't matter.
Us,
Yeah.
Like
Remember social media. Yeah.
5 stars.
Yeah.
On Yelp.
Yeah.
Too.
Go to privacytools.io. Send me an encrypted message on Kick or something.
Yeah. Also, maybe some of you could swipe right on Tinder. Maybe
swipe this video right, kids.
Or I don't know which direction is the yes I want to.
Right's the good one.
Yeah.
Maybe
you could.
That's why left-handed
maybe like some more of you could swipe right on me on Tinder because like right now I'm not getting any matches and like just a couple maybe just like 1 or 2. Yeah.
Let's.
Okay.
You don't want to talk about relationships on the podcast.
No, you're right.
For later.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. You're right. All right, dear listener. We're out. This is Joe and
Phil.
There's been big boys, big ideas. Stay big. We need to sign off. Come up with it. Tweet us or something.
Stay biggest. Stay biggest, boys.
Get bigly.
Fortnite. Yeah. And dab on Thanos. Okay. That's like all my sign-offs right there. You got to do one more.
A big idea. No. A big idea and Biggins, the smallest man. Simpsons reference, baby. Clock it.